It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so this is a follow-up video to a video I did about a week ago or so about Filip Hrgovic, because we're big fans of Filip Hrgovic here on this channel. We're big supporters of Hrgovic. I just want to see him get his shot and to see how he does at that world-class, creme de la creme, top-shelf level. But the politics and these fighters not really believing in the skills continues to show itself time and time again. So Joseph Parker was running his mouth a little bit about how he was saying he would fight Hrgovic. We know that Parker in 2022, he had a chance to fight Hrgovic for the IBF Eliminator, and like many fighters, he refused to not fight him and turned it down. So he had a chance to do it again, and he's decided that he's not going to fight Filip Hrgovic, which I'm very disappointed in. I'm not surprised. That's why I'm not too angry, but I'm a little disappointed in Joe, because I feel like, with the confidence of beating Wilder, Hrgovic being the IBF mandatory, I feel like this is a time for Joe to take the fight. And but Joe Parker's already lost to Filip Hrgovic in the amateurs. I guess he figured he knows what happened in the pros, but nonetheless, don't want to harp too much on that. We'll get back to Hrgovic in a second. It ain't all bad, as you guys can see on the screen. That's still a good fight. I like that fight. I don't think it's all bad. Joseph Parker is reportedly set to face Zhilei Zhang on the Anthony Joshua Francis Ngannou undercard March 8th in Saudi Arabia. So let's unpack that fight. I like this fight a lot. I do. I think Zhang, because of the Hrgovic performance and because of the two demolition jobs he did on Joe Joyce, Zhang is looked at by many as one of the most destructive forces in the heavyweight division. And he is. He's 6'8", southpaw, heavy hands, great timing, deep Olympic amateur pedigree, and he seems to have really hit his stride in this latter stage of his career. So he is dangerous. He's a tough out for anybody in the heavyweight division, right? But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do think Zhang, his level of ability at the world-class level, I think it is a little. I think he is becoming just a tad bit overrated. I still think his gas tank is not up to par, and I think that's going to be his undoing in this fight. I know Parker's going to open up as an underdog. I think I saw on the betting lines that Parker is opening up as an underdog in this fight, which I think is very, very foolish. I think Joseph Parker is all wrong for Zhang Zhilei. Honestly, all wrong. I'm gonna put it to y'all like this: Parker is one of the most match-fit heavyweights in the world right now. So he fought 4 times last year, and it culminated with him, beating Deontay Wilder with ease. It wasn't even a hard fight for him. He basically shut him out. So that he's going to be firing on all cylinders. His timing is going to be up to par. His stamina is not going to be an issue. He's got a granite chin. You got to remember, he's 31 years old. He's not old. He just seems older than he really is, because you got to remember, Joseph Parker became champion at 24 years old. So he's been here for a long time, and that's not by accident. He's a damn good fighter. I think it's interesting, because I think Zhang is gonna be really challenged with how he manages his stamina in this fight. He's gonna have to land something big early, because if he doesn't land something big early in the first 4 rounds, once we get to about the 5th, 6th, 7th round, if Parker isn't hurt, if Parker is still there and hasn't taken too much damage, Zhang is going to punch himself out. He's gonna run out of gas, and I really do think this is going to be even more so than the Wilder fight. Honestly, I really do think this is going to be more Joseph Parker's real signature performance, because you got to remember, there's a lot of people in boxing that don't give Wilder a lot of credit. Like, they don't think he's that good, because they call him Windmill Wilder, and they don't think his resume is that great, right? So even when he beat Parker, a lot of people were just like, "Oh yeah, I'm not surprised," right? And I was like that. I wasn't surprised that Parker beat Wilder at all. I picked him to win. So this, to a lot of people, maybe looked at as a tougher fight for Joseph Parker because of their current run of form. And to me, I just think, look, it's a dangerous fight for the first 3.5 to 4 rounds. But we all know, look, Zhang didn't really have his gas tank tested too much against Joe Joyce, because there were pretty early stoppages. I believe one fight, I can't remember the exact rounds, but he didn't get to the 9th and the 10th and the 12th round or anything like that. He wasn't really pushed like that by Joe Joyce. So it was, in my opinion, the perfect storm, where it was a guy who he's had his number. Style-wise, Joyce came forward at Zhang, throws a lot of punches and leaves himself open. Zhang's a hard, heavy-handed counter puncher. Didn't have to go those rounds. This is a fight where I believe he's going to have to go some rounds and maybe show us something a little bit different in order to win. And I'll say it like this, and I'm humble. I'm not a hater. If Zhang knocks out Joseph Parker, I don't care what round it is, because the only guy that knocked out Parker was Joe Joyce. And I feel like that version of Joe Parker, and I even said it before he beat Wilder, that version of Joe Parker that fought Joyce was one of the best versions of Joseph Parker there ever was. I mean, he was determined to win that night. And he just ran into a guy at the time who was a straight buzzsaw in Joyce, right? So, that's the only guy that's gotten rid of Joseph Parker. Joyce has a different style to a Zhang. Zhang doesn't have the punch output of a Joyce. Zhang doesn't have the volume punching of a Joyce. So I think stylistically it's just a different type of matchup. And my prediction for the fight, if I had to make one right now off rip, I think Joseph Parker's going to beat him. I think Joseph Parker's going to beat him and beat him quite comfortably. Just because I think Parker's got the punching power, the speed, the experience, and on top of that, he's as active as can be. And most importantly, his gas tank is better by miles. So that's going to be a big difference. I think Joseph Parker probably wins like I'll say he wins like a 117, 111 type of fight. Maybe he gets buzzed or hurt in one of the rounds that he's losing in. But I just think too smart, too experienced, too battle tested at this level for Zhang. But nonetheless, a great fight. And if Zhang beats him, I'll tell you that if Zhang knocks out Parker, he can do whatever he wants after that, because Joseph Parker is up there as far as the best fighters in the division who aren't champions, right? Because he's been at that level. He's been where Zhang's trying to go, right? So that's my initial thoughts on that. Now, pivoting back to Hrgovic, because I'm disappointed in Joe. I wanted Joe to fight him, but I'm not like angry because he's fighting Zhang. That's still a good fight. But what's going to be next for Hrgovic? Because we know Joshua's fighting Ngannou, Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn said that they want to circle back to Hrgovic after the Ngannou fight, but Turkey Alice Sheikh is saying that he wants the winner of Usyk and Fury to fight the winner of Ngannou and Joshua. So that's still kind of freezing out Hrgovic. We can't just take Eddie Hearn's word for it. I don't think Joshua's fighting Hrgovic for that title, for the IBF title when it goes vacant. Or it might not even go vacant now because, like I said, Turkey Alice Sheikh is trying to get all these governing bodies to work together for the winner of these two fights to fight each other. So we don't even know what's going on. But all I'm trying to say is this. Hrgovic, I don't know who he's going to fight next because he's not fighting Parker. He's not fighting Joshua. That was the next highest contenders. Daniel Dubois is the number 5 contender. He's next in line. Now, I like that fight. That's a fight that me and Pop used to talk about like 3-4 years ago a lot when they were both like prospects. That'd be a really interesting fight. Dubois has mixed it with some of the best heavyweights in the world like Usyk and Joe Joyce. And he just recently took the old Drum Muller. I know Hrgovic said that that would be an easy fight for him. He thinks that, because they sparred in London years ago, and from all accounts, he had his way. I'm sure he would take that fight. And if he don't fight him, right, if they don't fight, then you got Jared Anderson at 6 and then Frank Sanchez at 7. So we'll see how it goes. Jared Anderson, me and him got into a little dispute on Twitter recently, and he didn't like what I said about Hrgovic. But listen, if Dubois don't take the fight, he going to be next in line. So hopefully, he the same energy he had for me on Twitter, he can have for Hrgovic if some paperwork is passed his way. And then number 7 is Frank Sanchez, who I think if it gets down that far, I think he'll take the fight. I think Frank Sanchez can't afford to turn down any heavyweight title opportunities or any big fights with a guy like Hrgovic. So I think he would fight him because he's looking to get a move on with his career. And he's kind of in the same position as Hrgovic, higher risk, low reward guy, really good enough to be at that level, but maybe that doesn't bring the financial incentive for the top guys to give him the opportunity. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the news, man. Joseph Parker swerves for Hrgovic again, and he fights Zhang in what's going to be a really good fight in March. And I think Joseph Parker's going to win and win handily. And it'll be a fun fight. But let me know what you guys think. Well, how do you guys feel about Zhang versus Parker? Who you favoring and why? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.